So you're looking to make the move, or you're looking to sell in Auburn, Alabama, and you want to know when's the best time to buy and when's the best time to sell. Well, in today's video, I'm going to dive in right into the market statistics to give you the best crystal ball predictions I can give you for 2025. Auburn, Alabama area. I want you to make sure to go ahead. Hey everyone, Alex Acuff here with eXp Realty and the Acuff Weekly Group. Thank you so much for joining us on our page Living in Auburn, Alabama, where we discover everything eating, sleeping, living, playing real estate in Auburn, Alabama. We're going to tell you everything you need to know about it. And if you're looking to make the move, we're getting reach outs from people just like you every single day, and they're scheduling Zoom calls with us. We're doing about 15-minute consultations. We're getting to know each other, know exactly what you're looking for, so we can go and be the boots on the ground to help you find the perfect property, whether that's a home or a condo for your student, or a game day for yourself, or if you're looking for a general investment in the Auburn, Opelika, East Alabama area. And a little bit of new news, we are actually expanding to Montgomery, and we also cover the West Georgia area as well. So if you have any needs out those ways, give us a shout. Now, as always, if you have a home that needs a home value and you're thinking about getting started with selling your home, go ahead. I want you to scan the QR code here right on the screen. That's going to take you to getting your home value in just a couple questions in a couple seconds. And that way we'll know to reach out to you, just begin the conversation and really help you discover whether making the move now makes sense or later makes sense. But I have a feeling that in today's video, when we dive into the numbers, dive into the stats, I think you're going to understand a tale of two worlds of real estate. We're going to be talking about residential single family and what has been going on for the past 2.5 years in this great stay high interest rate environment. And then we're also going to dive into the condos, where I'm going to blow your mind on the second half of this video, talking about condos and where the market is and what you should be thinking if you're looking to sell a condo and if you're looking to buy a condo. Now, going back to residential single family, I can go ahead and tell you the video is going to tell a story about what we've been feeling for the past 4 or 5 years in real estate, and where we've seen interest rates as low as, in the 2%, and then all the way up to tapping 8%, and what's been going on the past couple years and what we can expect moving forward as you look to make the move to the Auburn, Alabama area. So with all that said, make sure to leave a comment, make sure to hit the like button, make sure to share this with your friends, family that are looking to make the move, and also hit the subscribe button. That way you don't miss another video about everything Auburn, Alabama. So let's dive in to the data right now. All right, so we're going to dive into the market statistics and look at it, and we're going to talk a little bit about this whole when is the best time to buy, when is the best time to sell. So really the best way to approach that is I get asked this all the time, and in reality, I don't have the crystal ball. So I have to rely on the statistics and what the numbers are telling me in the market and seeing where the trends are. So I'm going to show you guys exactly today what I look at whenever someone asks me, hey, when is the best time to buy and when is the best time to sell? And we're going to see today if we can identify that. So what I have pulled up here is our market trends report. And within this market trends report, it's reporting from last month, December 2024, and all the data previous before that. This is typically a 12-month year-over-year trend line, what we see. So if you look over here, I've got property type, single family, condo, townhouse, and I can do them all. And I can apply it to all these charts, and it can give me a general number. But today, I think we're just going to focus on single family and probably condo. I'd like to just see how condo looks right here. Yep, that's pretty much spot on. So let's go to single family, and we'll start here. So a majority of you guys are looking to make that move to Auburn. So I'm just going to go through these metrics, and we're going to talk about it, up or down, month over month, everything like that. So let's look at December of 2024. This is just for the city of Auburn, by the way. So this is not like Lee County, Opelika. If you guys want to see that trend report, or if you want me to send you a copy of it, I'm happy to do so. We can do that. So months of inventory, we're at 2.56 months of inventory. This is down 16% year over year. So that's pretty typical when you look at the year. Let's see, median property value. Let's see if we've got active months of inventory. Let's see if we've got months of inventory. So we're going to get a months of inventory first, looking at single family. So as you can see, it's pretty typical when we see right here, we've got December of 2024, December of 23. As you can see, how it's trended down. Last year was a little bit of a weird year, coming out of the COVID years of inventory where there was pretty much non-existent. As you can see, this is February. This is where we trend down and go back up. But this is a good indicator to tell you guys, as you can see on February, we start to see the inventory rise, inventory rise, inventory rise. A little bit of a dip last year. I think we had a little bit of the conversation around who was going to be president and what that looked like. And there was a little bit of hesitation on interest rates last year. So I think that affected this tremendously. Months of supply, we're at 2.5 months. As you can see up here at the top, that means that we are definitely more in a seller's market. Our list to sold price is 96.8%, which is actually low. You can see it's down 1.47% month over month. And just to let you know, you guys might say, man, 96.8%. I mean, that's pretty darn good. But in reality, if you go back just a couple of years, you'd see that number was actually 99.2, 99.1. And so sellers were really getting what they wanted. And this little triangle here, this little marker was way over here. So we're actually trending back towards a balanced market. So what's a balanced market? A balanced market is typically where we see 6 months of inventory. So what does that mean, months of inventory? That means that based on the data that has been supplied to us, if we were to stop listing homes today, we would have inventory for right now for 2.5 months. So all of the inventory would be eaten up in 2.5 months if we were to stop selling, or if we were to stop listing homes today. Median days in RPR, which is Realtor Property Resource, which is where I pull this report. So this is not like my personal data. This is like the data that comes from a third-party source that is pulling the data from our MLS and all the local market statistics. So 66 days on market, this is way up. This is when we talk to sellers and we say, hey, and giving really an expectation as to when to sell. 66 days on market is actually the average. So if your home has been listed for 2 weeks and it hadn't sold, but you maybe bought that home a couple years ago, well, the market has absolutely changed a whole lot. So you can see 66 days on market is way longer than what it used to be, really more in the 30s or less about 3 or 4 years ago. The median sold price is $419,000. This is a very healthy number for our city. That's above the market, the U.S. market. So definitely way above Lee County, way above Alabama. So Auburn looks really, really good. Very strong economics, holding that median sold price of $419,000. So if we were to do some quick math, let me do some quick math just to give you guys an idea. So if that is 419,000 and we were to divide that by 96.8%, that means that house was listed at $432,851. So if you were to go in and buy a house today and you were in that 400 to 500 mark, we could totally expect a difference, about a delta of about $14,000, almost $15,000 in what we can most likely negotiate when it comes to buying a home. So when we talk about game plans when buying a home, like right now, that's what we're talking about. So you're saying, if I could give you a crystal ball, this is my crystal ball when it comes to understanding the market and how to advise you best as a professional. Median estimated value is different from estimated sold price. Okay. So it's usually always higher. 425,400 is what their average for the market. So what we've got here in this is we've got 4 lines going across this. On the bottom, we have Alabama's numbers, which are typically low. And then we have Lee County as a whole, which is, our greater county that Auburn sits in. Then you have the U.S. housing market. And then you have Auburn. As you can see, Auburn is way up compared to Alabama. So if you're coming from across the state, don't get sticker shock whenever you see that the homes are priced significantly higher. Last month, we saw a 2.3% rise in the median estimated home value. That's a little over 4% over the 12 months. Now, I was looking back at some older videos of a year ago, and what I realized is that this is really spot on for what our expectation was and what the market was, what they were saying, what Jerome Powell and all the other economists were saying is that, we want to be in that healthy 3 to 5% mark in estimated home values across the United States. So we're actually seeing that. We're actually right on pace. So let's jump into new listings. Actually, we could jump back. We'll come back to it. New listings. And we're going to get into when's the best time to buy and when's the best time to sell. So let's kind of look at the data and see what it's telling us. New listings on average are 39,627. So up 3% months of inventory. Number of properties, we have 58 more new listings month over month, or down actually 31.8%. So that's typical, like what we saw up here earlier with the trends of months of inventory. As you can see here, that February trend is when we start going up. You've got January's low right here. Then we had that weird spike there. But if we go back to February, we were probably about the same. So new listings. So when would I be looking to list my house according to this data? How do I read this data? Okay. We see it's a median home of 2381, probably a 4-bedroom. We've got a median list price of $193 in the market. Just for reference, I've been in the market here for over 10 years. And when I first came here, this number was right at $100 a square foot. So it's incredible to see the changes. If I wanted to go back that far, median list price is definitely way up. So if we look at when is the best time to buy and sell, if I am a buyer, I am most likely going to be looking, if I want to get the best deal, I'm going to be looking second half of the year. I think that's pretty standard, we can say. So we're at December. The sold data, it's kind of teeter-tottered quarter after quarter, as we can see here. But that's really just the sold price is what we're seeing. So right here, September, great time to close. So $385,000 for a sell price. So if I were a buyer looking to capture the best time to negotiate a deal, I'm going to wait till most likely right after probably July, right in July is when I'm going to start looking. You can look in May as well, because most people have plans, right? So if we think about what is the mentality of a seller, if I'm the buyer, is that a seller is going to be looking to transition if they need to move up and they have kids moving schools or whatever, or job changes, they most likely want to change during the summertime. So what we see is that there's a big influx between really March to May of listings. And when we hit May, people go, okay, I've got two and a half months to get all my stuff moved. They're motivated. And then what we see is that number will start to trickle down in July, that sold price. So that means if you put the home under contract in July and you're closing maybe in September, or you put it under contract in August, you're going to get your best price between September, October, right in there, which is, that's pretty enlightening to see that from this past year. So that was really, if I had to say, probably the worst time to list your home as of last year was to list in June or July of last year. So I have other stories that I could tell you that is probably true, because, hey, look, I'm not a perfect real estate agent. Not every home sells. I can definitely tell you from experience that those numbers absolutely tell a story, and I could tell you another one as well. Let's see, if I were listing a home last year, if we had that crystal ball, I would have listed the home earlier. I would have probably listed around February and hopefully closed March or April. And I can tell you one of the reasons why. So when July hit, June hit, this is when Jerome Powell was supposed to come out and drop rates, which would have spiked our home sale prices. He did not. He actually held tight, and then the same thing in September and October. So that is one of the reasons why we see this big downtrend in pricing, as you can see. So what is to expect this year? We have a new president, so it really depends on what the policy changes are going to be. So I don't have a crystal ball on that, but if we look back at the data, if we go back to 2020, when Biden took office, we can see that we definitely had a spike in sale prices in February. So if we were to list today, February had a spike, March was down, May was up, and we trended up for several months going through 2020 all the way through here. These are the COVID times right here. So we did see that rise. Now, will it hold the same? I don't know. I'm not predicting a humongous crisis or anything like that, but I don't think there's any indicators to tell us that the market's going to crash to drive these prices down. Even as you can see, even with a higher interest rate environment for the past 2.5 years, is that prices have steadily gone up. So what is the game here? If you're looking to buy a home, it's to buy a home when you need to buy a home and hold that thing for as long as you can. Same thing for sellers. If you're looking to sell and you're trying to capture the delta as to when to sell and when to buy, probably the best time to do that is to list your home in May, and then hopefully get a good contract, and then make a move sometime in the summer to close in late July, August. I think that's a pretty good transition time right in there. Now, for me, just my personal story on this is that I've always found the best deals in the wintertime. It's January 2025 when I'm recording this, and I've always found that the colder months are typically the better months for me to invest as an investor. And the reason why is because typically we'll find that there's obviously less activity going on the listings online. If people put a home online for sale during the wintertime, they're usually very serious. They usually have something come up. This is not necessarily a total opportunity. Like they know it's most likely not the best time, because we know the best time is to list really March, April, May. So If they know that and they're listing a home during the wintertime, they most likely need to move. So there's a little bit more of a negotiation, a little bit more of an urgency, a little bit higher motivation to sell that home. So as an investor, this is really the perfect time when I would be looking to buy. I would see that if I put a home under contract in January, I'm probably getting it at a good price in March. All right. And as you can see, that average list to sales price, 96.83 on the sold. That's pretty darn good. I wish I could back this up to show you what it would have been back in May of 2020. That would have been incredible. Let's go ahead and change it over to condos. So if you turn on this video and you said, hey, Alex, I don't need a single family. I really need a condo for my kid or a game day. Let's go ahead and apply those changes and take a look at this. So months of inventory, condo market tells a whole different story. I tell people there's been a big delay. Like you have the big stay in single family residential where you have the big delay in condos. And let me explain why. Months of inventory right now is at under a month, 0.8 of a month. So that is literally 3 weeks, 3.5 weeks, if that. And the list to sales price is 98% with a median days on market of 10 days. We sold multiple properties recently, condo wise, off market. And the reason why, or we put them through our coming soon program that generates a lot of interest. We get the sight unseen offers. When we get those, we typically can negotiate a better deal for the seller. So if you do have a condo and you're looking to sell, goodness, these numbers could not look any better right now. This is fantastic for a condo seller. Median estimated property values, 293, 320. That's the estimated property value, not the sold price. As you can see, the sold price is over that. It's actually up 8% month over month. We actually have an inventory change of plus almost 9% in the past 12 months. Look at how tight these numbers are. You see that? Super tight numbers. Alabama, USA is much higher. And then, come on, let me get Auburn on here. So Auburn is the blue line. As you can see, the blue line has caught the U.S. housing market right up on its tail here. So when we look at that, that just tells us that it's spiking big time. Let's look at new listings. There's been 12 properties month over month. That's actually down 45% from the previous month over month. Median list price of $275. And so 1,265 square feet, roughly a 2-3 bedroom for a condo. Look at the pricing. This is incredible. So I want to talk a little bit about this. I've referenced this in previous videos. I've shown you this before. And so let's just look at November. So in November, the median list price was $400,000. The median list price in January was $275,000. That is $125,000 of growth in average list price. And guess what? People are getting it. It is wild. Active inventory, you can see it's gone way up. So we were way down. We sold a condo here in January of this previous year in 2024. We sold just about $440,000, a great game day. My clients thought they overpaid, but the market was telling us a little bit different of a story. I thought we were on the upside, trending up, and man, was I right about that. We saw a massive spike here. As you can see, we kind of flatlined. Let's talk a little bit. What does this story tell us on active listings? Let's go to pending. I want to talk about sales because it's really more important to look at the sale prices. So if we look at condos did not respond the same as residential. Look at single family. Look at the rise in residential between 19 to 22, right in here. Pretty big spike, easily an average $100,000 higher. If we look at condos, we started at 232 and we were still in 22 at 210. This right here was a massive indicator for me when I looked at it, because I was like, how come the condo market has not responded like the residential single family market? Well, I'm not totally sure, but when we saw that, we started looking at, okay, there's got to be an opportunity here. We've seen residential has cooled off from this point on. It's had a steady rise, but nothing like condos. Look at these spikes. Just absolutely bonkers. If we go to January, February, we were at 285, and then we spiked to 375. Now in there, I mean, is examples. So that condo I told you about, my client bought for 440, another one sold about 6 months later for 500 and I think 15 or $25,000. So we saw this massive peak, this massive rise in solds. So it's incredible to watch. Now it has cooled down a little bit, but we're still, I mean, we just sold another one off market. I think these numbers are going to continue to hold high. I think we're at really the new beginning for condos. As you can see, pendings are still way up. Pendings are holding steady. Our inventory is driving down. And as you can see up here, this all tells a story. So if you're looking in the Auburn market for a condo, if you're a seller, now's a great time to jump in. I think we're going to capture and hold pretty high. If you're a buyer, it's really about buying and holding. You know, I most of the time, I can say this with confidence. I've never had a client, a parent really, buy a condo for their kids and hold that condo for 4 years, maybe 5 years if they take a fifth loop, and not walk away with at least minimum $40,000 in equity, at least. Most of them are typically up to 6 figures over what they paid for it. So for example, if you bought an Eagles Landing, I think in around 2015, you bought that condo for about $102,000, $105,000. Well, we were selling those over $200,000 5 years later. So you can, as you can see, the growth is just incredible. They keep, you know, they said they were going to cap enrollment. We haven't seen that yet. It looks like they have not done so. It looks like they have continued to add more and more students. So just kind of clicking through this, looking at it. So we'll stay on these condos real quick. Active listings. Number of properties on the market is 16, very low. Median days, 75 days on market. Now, these are most likely, I mean, you got to think 16 condos, that's not that many. There's over 5,000, I think, new kids every year that come to Auburn. So having 16 properties on the market, these properties are most likely well overpriced condos, either new construction or just super overpriced and sitting on the market. Pending data. I mean, look at these numbers. So people look at the Fed rate and they think, oh, interest rates are going to drop. And everybody's thinking single family and everyone believes the condo market's going to follow the residential market. Well, it's not true. As you can see, pending data has continued to drive down as long as the inventory has. That's what I'm saying. Like, these are mostly condos that have just sat, that are new construction or higher number of properties. I mean, look at this right now. If you got a condo and you're thinking about selling it, there's no better data today to tell you to sell that property. No offense. If I had a crystal ball, I would look at this and go, man, that makes a lot of sense, right? I mean, these numbers are just screaming. If you own a condo, to sell it right now, single family housing, this is really like, do I have something that's causing me to have to sell? And where do I need to be? Let me look at the number of properties on the market. Yeah. Thank you so much for joining me in today's video, talking everything about when to buy and when to sell in the Auburn, Alabama real estate market. Now, we have covered a myriad of statistics and numbers, and you still may have some confusion, and I want you just to reach out to me and my team. Let's schedule about a 15-minute Zoom. We'll help you really understand the numbers and really make it make sense for you and your transition to Auburn, or if you're looking to transition out of Auburn, across town, looking to sell, looking for that home value. As always, if you need the home value, go ahead and scan the QR code. That'll take you and get a home value in seconds. So we've talked a lot about residential and what's been going on for the past 4 years. We've talked a lot about the condo market and where the condo market is trended moving forward. And I mean, good night. Those numbers just, if I had to look at all the numbers to tell you the ones that really spoke the most to me today, as we discovered that market report today, I would tell you, if you're a seller of a condo, I think now is a fantastic time. Now, can I say with confidence, most likely your property will appreciate over the next several years? Of course, I think it will. I think Auburn's going to hold tight in education, be your anchor tenant. There's a lot of economic factors that are saying, yes, we're going to continue to appreciate, and you can hold it, and that's fine. But if I were looking at, am I going to capture the most amount of equity for the time that I've been in this investment? I think now's a great time if you've owned it for 4 or 5 years. Or you can continue to wait. And what we're going to see is, like, I always look at that spread of what is my time return on the equity involved in the investment? So if I've gotten massive equity gain in a short amount of time and the market tapers out, that just continues to lower that return that I'm going to get on my investment. So yes, I think now is a great time to sell a condo. If that's probably my biggest takeaway from today's video, I want you to leave in the comments what your biggest takeaway from today's video was. And I look forward to seeing you guys on the next video. See ya. Peace.